The Bishop of Lodwar is like a father of a very large family, but with empty pockets, without money. Turkana has been a marginalized area. It is so, well, people there in Nairobi consider it so remote that we really don't feel the presence of the government. So for all these years, it has been the church carrying this burden of trying to give life to the people here in terms of water, health services, food, and education.
For the last 50 years, that is 1961, December 8th, when this church, the Catholic Church, began to come in this place, it began as a challenge. A challenge in the sense that the first persons to penetrate our people in terms of many fields. Why it is a mother is it began with them. It has grown with them. It knows its own challenges of the people. It has shared its challenges itself. The church has also made these people known to the world by their own needs through our first bishop and even the second bishop, Patrick, and this bishop now.
This year we are celebrating 50 years. So when the first missionaries came, of course, they had to look at the area. There was no water. The people were mostly nomads. There were no schools. Even the issues of health care, they were not there. So actually the first bishop, Bishop Mawan, had to focus a lot on building those structures.
So we have 50 years history. Some things we have done very well, some things we need to improve upon, and we're looking to see how we can work with our partners to ensure that the quality of the life of the Turkana people is improved.
We want to get out of this dependency syndrome, which when people are receiving all the time, then that spirit of that initiative to do something for themselves is killed. This year we have said that we want to come up with a strategic plan which will cover both pastoral and development.
Catholic Diocese of Lodwar has been the main implementer of education ever since the missionaries came, and since then the diocese has continued to ensure that children get education, and actually not only children, starting from ECD to tertiary level education. And that means therefore that we have so many ECDs. Most of the primary schools in the diocese, in the county actually, are Catholic sponsored. Currently there are about 7 secondary schools that are Catholic sponsored, and then we have Homecraft for third level. And apart from that, the diocese also has been involved so much in sponsoring students, and therefore you'll find that apart from these ones who are here in the secondaries and primary schools, there are others who are being sponsored elsewhere in the country, even in university. But despite that, you find that a school like Turkana Girls has only 12 teachers and it's supposed to have 23 teachers. So you can imagine now that shortage of teaching staff, it's a big problem.
Every year I think the diocese, out of its own resources, allocates almost about 2 million shillings to educate children. And then together, partnering with donors, we also help students, especially in secondary schools and those who go to college.
I was in a family of a single parent. I lost my father when I was in standard 1. Then when I reached standard 8, when I sat for my final exam, that's when I lost my mother. So I stayed with my grandmother. I didn't get any place to get school fees. So my grandmother took me to social ministry, Diocese of Lodwar. I was given support of paying school fees. I'm the first person in our family to attend the secondary school education. I take it positively say maybe God has a plan. Now I'm working hard in my studies. I complete my future to be a pilot.
We have two types of schools in our diocese. We have Catholic sponsored schools and we have public schools. But what we are realizing is that the quality of education, the formation of the students is below what, especially the national standards. And yet, if these students are not exposed to quality education, then they will not go far, they will not reach university. So what we are thinking as a diocese is now that we also want to come up with our own private schools, a Catholic private school for girls, both those who are in primary and also those in secondary school. And then a Catholic school for boys. Come up with primary school for boys and also a secondary school for boys.
There has also been an encouragement from the Bishop in charge of education in Kenya, Bishop Crowley, that this time now we as a Catholic Church, we need to come up with private institutions that we are going to help these children to be formed in the ethos that we preach. Because what is happening now with the Ministry of Education and new constitution, as good as they are actually trying to cut off the church influence in these schools. And so we see our way forward for the future to ensure we give this quality education is through private schools, both secondary and primary schools. So here in the diocese, it's already in the process. We are trying to come up with a school for girls that will be called Our Lady Queen of Peace Girls Boarding School. And the initial stages have already started, but definitely we'll be looking for more support because girl child education is also a challenge here.
There are various issues that are affecting girls in Turkana community. And one of the issues is they have no access to education, and their early marriages also. So most of them are married when they're still very young. They also drop out because of other issues, domestic issues. They are made to work in the farms, they're made to do all that.
We know that if we help these girls today, we are actually supporting the future generation as well.
We also want to build a school, we are calling it a school of leadership. So this school would target young men, in those who are going to secondary schools. And we really want to ensure that they are morally, formed. They know what it means to lead, what it means really to build the community.
We have one hospital in Kakuma. Kakuma is around 120 kilometers northwest of Lodwar. We have two health centers, one in a place called Lorugum and another one in a place called Nakwamoru. We have 15 dispensaries and over 120 outreach clinics which are visited on monthly basis by the health unit.
The diocese is providing almost 60% of the health care in the whole Turkana area.
In the outreaches, the activities that are carried out include school health program, home visits. There is also prevention of mother to child transmission, immunization to children and expectant mothers.
Today now we have the issues of HIV, AIDS, which is really also is very, very, very prevalent in this area, in some of the parts. And also like in the area of malnutrition, there's no food. Children, if you look at the people around, you find that they really they are underweight because they don't get enough.
Kila wiki tunapatia wale wame TB na HIV tunapatia mara mbili kwa wiki, Monday na Friday.
The support we are looking for is some facilities don't have vehicles to run the outreaches. The facilities also don't have enough staff. We are currently even working with the patient attendants who are not in the government system now. So we want to change from working with the patient attendants and have the qualified staffs. The qualified staffs I'm talking about are nurses, clinical officers, lab technologists. The other thing is that we want to improve on the status of most of the facilities from where they are now to a bigger facility.
Here the main economic activities is pastoralism, people looking after their cows. And so this is also an area which is prone to drought. There is recurrent drought all the time.
It will be a bit futile if we are trying to bring Christ to the people and at the same time they don't have the basic things in which they can use in survival, and also that we help them in seeing Christ in what we preach.
We cannot just sit down and continue letting things continue the way they are. So we have taken initiatives, for example, where there is water, like along the rivers, then the church has helped people maybe to irrigate, to have irrigation. The church has brought seedlings, for example, fruits like mangoes and things like that. Also, maybe where we have boreholes, we are encouraging the people to plant trees.
Nafanyika hapa tunalima, tunapanda hii miti, tumewana hapa ya maembe. Tunapanda hapa ndizi, tunapanda hapa mahindi. Napanda hiyo kwa sababu ya maji, ile Diocese ametusaidia hapa. Unaona kijito iko hapa, tunatoa hiyo maji, tunanyunyiza hiyo miti ama mboga yetu.
I think as of now the church has drilled over 800 boreholes all over Turkana. The issues of water is connected also with health to ensure that when people have clean water, then the diseases will be minimized.
The main reason why the church is involved with the people is because of the pastoral. All other things come in as a kind of care. Our first responsibility in terms of care of the people is to pastor their soul, to pastor the person as a whole. And that involves pastoral life, trying to bring the message of Christ to them, and also to bring development and sustenance to the people.
The area is so vast. We are talking about 77,000 square kilometers. The church has to ensure that we reach out to all these people.
The pastoral agents that we have in Turkana are very essential for us. Priests, they're very essential also for the sisters. Reason being that most of us priests, sisters, we've had problem, one, with the language. So because we have not really gotten into the language very well, we need people that knows the language to help us to propagate the faith. It is difficult getting catechists, and even if we get them, it is difficult maintaining them and keeping them. What we give our catechists to help and support them in the pastoral life of the church is very little. And sometimes we really have to beg, or even have to cough out from other places to sustain them.
The Diocese of Lodwar relies totally on outside help.
The diocese give a grant to every parish of about 12,000 a month. That 12,000 covers diesel, it covers the feeding of the priest in the parish, it covers paying wages to the cook, the watchman, it covers maintenance and repair in the parish. That cannot cover for pastoral need.
We are Augustinian Recollet nuns from Mexico. We are contemplatives. We come here to Lodwar. We are, of course, happy here in our mission. They are contemplative. Our mission is prayer. We are sharing with the people our life, contemplative life, pray or work and mortification is part of our apostolate. Also, we have some social apostolate now here in Mekamikwi to share with the women who here, teaching them to how to sew. Well, it's really we need the defense of the community, because our contemplative need to have this protection, because we are in our, no, it's only material separation from the world, and also is in our spiritual life, is part our contemplative life have as security around the monastery.
Turkana is a very difficult place due to different reasons. One is the climatic condition, and then another is the terrain, the difficult terrain.
I think we have the worst road in Kenya.
So traveling from one place to the other is a big problem. At the same time, if we have to organize workshops or other things, getting people to come is a problem again because of transportation.
We, as a church, of course, recognized by the church, given that the church is now in your own hands. by giving one of our own Kenyan bishop to be with us, and then myself as a native priest here to join him. Now it is a time we say, oh, thank you for what you did, but now we have to have our own feet on the ground. How can we establish ourselves from what these our brothers established in the ground?
We are marking a jubilee this year, 50 years. We want to have something symbolic for ourselves, that this is what we came up with during the jubilee, and one of them is the plaza. And again, this plaza will help, to raise funds for the diocese. In the diocese, we have some other things that help us to get money, like the fuel station, like the garage. But we feel the Jubilee Plaza will add more. It will be something that will not only help the diocese, but it will also help the sustenance of parishes that are struggling.
We have survived here for the last 50 years. Sometimes have been particularly difficult. The majority of the money is coming from outside. Very little money has in the past been raised locally. We're now looking nationally and also looking locally at what is available. So at parish levels, formation of parish finance councils who will look to see how local fundraising can be done, looking to see how local organisations can contribute to the work that the Church and so has been doing. The Diocese of Lodwar is now coming to the end of its third 5-year plan, so we're looking to our fourth plan, 2013 to 2017. The overall budget of the activity of the diocese is somewhere in the region of 4 to 5 million euro, which is a large amount of money to be raising at a time when costs continue to grow. The diocese would have about 1,000 personnel involved between the religious and the missionaries, the priests, the sisters, brothers, the employees of the various programs, the catechists, and some volunteers that are working with the diocese as well. So it's a large number of people, a large range of activities that are being carried out.
Technically, every diocese is supposed to have a synod every 10 years. We've not had it for 50 years in Lodwar. So the synod we are having is the first diocesan synod in Lodwar. The synod marks also part of the Jubilee. This synod will help us to come up with a lot of things. One, it will help us with our diocesan policy. How do we run the diocese? How do we run pastoral programs? How do we run developmental programs? Two, it will help us to look again at the new evangelization. And the theme of the synod that we have in our first diocesan synod is Arise and Evangelize towards a deeper Christian commitment.
This strategic plan will involve our people here, but we will need the support of our donors, because there have been people who have been supporting us all these years, and they have really been very good to us, and they want to see this area developed. And so we are also appealing to them to come and assist us come up with this master plan. Not only to come up with a plan, but to implement it, because the implementation matters a lot. So that's why we are asking for our donors, both overseas, within the country, and even the government. No one person can do this, but if all of us work together, if we pull our resources together, both local and international, and also national, I think we will solve the problems of Turkana.